Yeah. Leave out the door in the middle of the night, cold, or an ambulance come and get me. Well, I picked the ambulance.
Institutionalized Mass General Hospital against my will. And then put in McVlain Hospital against my will. I had to wait till they let me out to get out. I didn't have the means to get out. I had to wait till they were ready to let me go. I had to participate and be a good person, be good or whatever. Till they were convinced, whatever, I don't know. It wouldn't have done any good for them to let me out. I didn't have any money to go anywhere. No, I got my Social Security money on January 3rd, 2024, because I had that money. I could actually travel back to New York if I didn't have my Social Security income. They would have discharged me to nowhere. Discharged me to nowhere. I guess an Uber to a bus station. I don't know. I just been out in the elements. Destination Palm Beach, mother. Well, that's on the return. Passage south. Yeah. Well, that's on passage north for return. But that's when I was targeted by administration of government Biden, along with a bank, exposed to the elements, homeless. I was homeless and exposed to the elements in the winter. It was 22 degrees outside. I didn't have a choice but to sleep outdoors. There was nowhere else to sleep. So I laid down to sleep. Woke up in a jolt. If I had fell asleep, I would have froze to death. I would have been dead. Yeah, so now dead. I was definitely targeted in Boston a year before that. And then targeted again, but now with a bank in on it. Yeah, I didn't have a problem with the money before. I had money on the 3rd, but that's when now money problem added on top of it. Money added on top of it, even after imprisonment. But I got out of imprisonment. The money problem. I got through that. Despite the fact of not getting the money. I never got the money from the bank. And in fact, the bank still owes me $516. And I have the paperwork to prove they still owe it to me, but they won't give it to me. But despite not having it, I made it all the way back to here somehow. That's why felony crime committed.
Yeah, felony crime committed by the President of the United States, Joseph Robinette. Yeah, felony committed by Joseph Robinette Biden, the 46th President of the United States, et al. Because whether he knew it or not, he's the responsible person, et al. It's his affirmative defense to say he didn't know. He's going to have to argue that he didn't know. Then he's arguing that his administration's out of control or whatever. It's ridiculous. And the same for the bank. The chairman and CEO of this big bank it's not a trial. No. It's a writ of petition to the Supreme Court. They will just appoint a district court judge of the District of Columbia to be a special master, to gather information, sworn testimony, and evidence to give back to the court. It's not a trial. No. No, the Supreme Court will just decide it and give an opinion about the facts gathered up as determined by the magistrate. So they'll read all the facts and then give their opinion. What their opinion is, Their opinion is what should happen to Joe Biden. Their opinion as to what should happen to anybody in his ministry. Their opinion about what should happen to all these people. And then that'll be it. It'll be up to the executive authority and the legislative authority of Congress to decide what to do with the opinion. Yeah, that's how it works.
Assault in the third degree or whatever the highest degree.
So this is the framing of the case. Exactly what the criminal charge is, a felony. They can give an opinion that there was one committed. They will. Absolutely.
The third or first, 1, 2, 3, whatever's the most serious. Third or first, I don't care. Assault in the most serious degree with intent to commit the Braveheart murder. The only more serious thing is homicide, murder, but then I'm dead. Well, I did some calculations. I'm going to pause this a minute. I am. I'm going to pause it right now. Yeah, 17:5:30. I've just got to pause it. Well, no, I don't. It can run. No, I'm not going to pause it. Let it run continuous. So there's not an interruption of...
So I just said an example of how Biden administration using a bank tried to murder me, homicide, but I live. So now I'm going to go talk about dead during Biden, the book of the dead of the Biden administration.
Temporal linear time. So, well, I found a thing. Yeah, I did. Death. What's death? Death associated by houses of worship in the United States. How many deaths at houses of worship in the United States? And the period of time is 10th August 1884 to 27 August 2025. Yeah. What's the duration of time there? The duration of time. 1,621 months with 17 days left over, but months are complicated because some are 20, whatever. That's an average thing. But 51,516 days. So that's constant. Day. Yeah. So, over a period of time, or a distance of time, from 10 August 1884 to 27 August 2025, time has traveled the distance of, measuring distance in days now. Well, I'm constraining time by putting into a 24-hour period. 51,516. So that's a fixed constant, a day over a time. Day over time. The distance of time being a day. But now it's just time again, because time, that distance of time from this to this, measured by a constant, 51,516 days. I've imposed upon it a construct of a day based by a clock. So there are 158 deaths over 51,516 days. Yeah. But that's what it is, because there was 158 deaths reported over the constant measure of a day, 24 hours. There's 51,516 of them. So it's really simple. You just do this. You do dividend divisor. It's 51,500.
No, I did it backwards first. It's the other way around.
51,516. Constant measure of a day to constrain the passage of time from a date to a date certain, divided by 158. So I'm figuring out the average. The average dead per day over 51,516 days. Well, you already know something, don't you? No, it's backwards. No, it's backwards. No, that doesn't work. No, it has to be 158. 158 dead. Because that's a fixed thing. Dead. People dead. Dead. The dead. Don't speak ill of the dead. Dead 158. Divided by, over time, 51,516. 54,516. Yeah. That is, if you could take the dead and divide them all up equally, in equal little parts, it's, 0.00306700 dead per day. Yeah, 0.003, that's a tenth, a hundredth, a thousandth, 3/1000ths of a life that is dead. 3/1000ths of a life. Yeah, 3/1000ths of a life. Yeah, 3/1000ths of a life. Yeah, 3/1000ths of a life that's dead. Yeah. Sounds really insignificant, doesn't it? 3/1000ths of a life that is dead over the passage of time, well, the velocity of time over from date certain to date certain. 51,516 days or 1,621 months. Well, for the days, it's 3/1000ths. 3/1000ths. Well, let's do it the other way. Let's do it by the month. 3/1000ths compared to the month number. So 1621 divided by 51,516. Okay, well, that's 3/100ths. 3/100ths. 3/100ths of a life that is now dead. 3/100ths over months. Over months. Now it's 3/100ths. We've just moved a decimal place from 3/1000ths to 3/100ths. That's 10 times the frequency. 10 times the frequency. Yeah, 10 times the frequency. Because it moved to the hundreds place. That's 10 times 1. Yeah, well, it is. As a decimal. Yeah, well, 3/100ths. Yeah, 3/100ths is 3 cents now. 3 pennies out of $1. 3 pennies out of $1, or 30 cents out of $10. Well, 3 pennies out of $1, or $1 out of $100 bill. Yeah. Yeah. Or well, $1,000 bill. Or 3 100s, or 3 $100 bills out of $1,000 bill. 3 $100 bills out of $1,000 bill. $3 bills out of $100 bill. Or 3 pennies out of $1. 3 100s. of a life, they're dead. But you can't do it like that, can you? You can, I just did it. You can theoretically now. I just did it. So let's do years now. How many years?
I didn't do the
It's
year.
less precise,
No, I stopped.
but the value goes up.
I didn't do it. I just didn't complete
Well,
it.
3 1,000ths is no value.
No, I just
when I get to
stopped it.
3 100ths, well, that has value now. That's $1 out of $3 out of 100, or $3 out of 100. Yeah, $3 bills out of $100 bill, or 3 $100 bills.
It starts
this
breaking
works out
down
really
now. I don't want to
Three
do it.
$100 bills. So you can have one $1,000 bill. Then lay down 3 $100 bills, and 3 $100 bills. 3 $100 bills, or to go to $1 bills, it's or 30. 30. Yeah, one $1,000 bill divided into a part. Yeah. Imagine a $10,000 bill. $1,000 bill. This all works because it's 3. It does. You can build a construct here theoretically. You can to have value, but I had to move it up from.
So imagine $100,000 bill. Imagine $1 trillion bill, 10 trillion, 100 trillion, 1,000 trillion. Imagine a Google trillion bill, oh God. But how long is a Googleth of a second?
Days doesn't work. Days is too precise. Well, who calculates death by days? Death by days. How many dead a day? Well, you can do that. Well, you can. How many dead in a day? You can do that. Dead by day? Yeah. Number of dead by day. Yeah, you can do that. You can do that every day. In New York City, you can.
Yeah, just by the sheer
In the
scale
city
of
New York,
everything.
you can. Because there's so many people in such a dense area. They have the number. Yeah, it's more than one. But total death. Total death. Total death per day in New York City. You don't subdivide it down between that or that. No, total dead per day in New York City. Total dead per day in New York City. Yeah, they've got it. They've got the number. Total dead per day in New York City. Yeah, the dead per day in New York City. Yeah, they sure do. Absolutely, they do. Yeah, because the dead, a life that is dead, you got to do something with the body. You can't have, yeah. Unclaimed or bodies that are dead, that have no identification, whatever, they're unclaimed or unburied, whatever, they all get laid into Potter's Field.
Or
It's an island.
or disposed of some other way. What happens when Potter Field's too full? I don't know the method of disposal of bodies that are identified dead, regardless of the cause of the death. I have no idea. I have no idea, but I'll guarantee you they're not being put on Potter's Field. Potter's Island is not big enough. Struggle against the machine. That's a very important question to find out. Yes, since the fog of COVID, how has the city of New York been processing for disposal bodies of the dead, regardless of the cause of death? Yeah, we should know that. That's a good question for Zorhan Mandami and his mayoralty of the city of New York. Let's find out who's really running the city.
Out in the East River. In open graves. And in the 1950s, for the first time, a priest prayed over them. It was an Episcopal priest who said, we need to pray for these bodies. So they started it. It was a major thing. As we say, it's a federal case to get it done. It was a federal case to get it.
Just to allow a priest to be on a boat to go to Potter's Island. But it was an Episcopal priest that went, not Catholic, not anything else, Episcopal only.
Done like a case of the federal government. Yeah, nearly possible. Well, there you go. Well, but that's not good enough, you see. Because I asked myself, let's don't consider the 158 evenly dispersed over the time. No, let's just look at the end. Well, just the most recent. Well, that is, well, that's basically, well, that's like the Biden administration, really. Yeah. Well, there was a dead in 15 January. Well, 2022, I think it was. Well, or 2021 or something. Yeah, well, anyway. Biden. Attributed to the administration of Biden. Yeah, how many out of 158 occurred during Biden? Well, it's, of the 158, of the 158, yeah, well, 39, let's just say 40. It's 39%, let's just call it 40%. Yeah. So of the 158, 64 people dead during Biden. Because now I can say people. 64 people are dead during Biden. Out of the 158 dead over in houses related to houses of worship. Houses of worship deaths. Yeah. 64 out of 140% of them occurred in Biden. Yeah, 64% occurred during Biden. Man, 64% of that. 64%. No, yeah, 40%. 40% of the death. Or 64 people. 64% death.
No, 40%,
dead,
which is 64 people.
dead. Yeah. 64 people.
Which is 40%.
64 people is 40% of
So just imagine 40% of the dead, which is 64 people, occurred from years 2021 to 2025. 5 years. Yeah. How many years from 1864 to 2025? That's 100 years. 125 years plus 36 years. 125 plus 36. That's 161. Out of 161 years, the last 5 years is Biden's, and that's 40% or 64 dead in the last 5 years out of 161 years. That is statistically probable. That's damning. It means that President Joseph Joseph Robinette Biden, President et al., defendant, and other non-named defendants. That makes them like super killers or something. Because we're just talking about people dead related to houses of worship. That's outrageous. Out of 5 years, out of 161 years, 40% of it happens?